Yo, what's good YouTube? This is Jay from T&J, and I haven't released a video in a few days. I apologize. I've been a little under the weather, so I'm actually still in the middle of it. I'm fighting through it, but I'm gonna release this video just for you guys because I haven't forgot about you guys, and honestly I want to get back to playing MLB The Show, and I'm really into this franchise. And you know, the Brewers are an interesting team, so we're doing really well in real life, and the Cubs are doing really bad. To be honest, they're way below expectations, and we're exceeding expectations by a lot. One of the best offenses in the game, and it's pretty funny because it's the opposite of this. I probably have a pretty good pitching staff, and so do the Brewers in real life, but you know, our strong suit is pitching. In real life it's hitting, so it's kind of funny. But I'm gonna make an interesting move before we get into this gameplay. So we're going up against with some interleague matchups here. So got a couple of AL East matchups. So but before we get into that, first I want to look at something. So I've had a dilemma with relief pitching. So Corey Knebel, when he comes in, it seems like he has a very high strikeout rate. Look at last year. He had a career high 1195 strikeouts per nine, 1.5 WAR, and a 376 walks per nine. And you know what? I'm actually going to switch him and Steve Geltz, because look at Corey Knebel. So you see his attributes there. So look at his role. He really wants to be a closer. His contract's kind of lowballed because I had to sign him, but look at that. I have him signed for the next 5 years, 1.4 million. So he's going to be mad at that the whole time. But that's what he asked for. I gave him for what he asked for. His individual performance isn't as good as what he wanted, but Steve Geltz. So Steve Geltz, hits per nine is 96. So, you know, in a lot of games when I need just a relief pitcher to get out of the inning and not give up a hit, he could be that guy. And, you know, he's already been an all-star as a closer. He's already got 14 saves on the year. So, he's doing pretty well. Whip at 127. But let's just look at his ratings compared to Corey Knebel. So, Corey Knebel had a little bit higher of, actually, it looks like Steve Geltz has a little bit lower strikeouts per nine. And, you know, that doesn't really, it's not really a big difference. But, if you think about it, closers really strike out a lot of guys because you want them to get out of games, not give up base runners and everything. And if you've noticed in the last few games, the last few videos, when Steve Geltz comes in, he gives up like a hit. And you know what? Late in the game, I want to strike out these guys, but you know, his specialty, it really is hits per nine, 96. So I'm gonna need him in games where I need to get out of a jam. You know, guys on first and second late in the game, second and third, guy on second, guy on third. So I'm gonna actually put him in the bullpen because I feel like he's gonna do a lot better for me as an organization in the bullpen rather than a closer, because Corey Knebel doesn't give up a lot of runs. Let's just look at their ERA as far as last year goes. So Steve Geltz ERA is 1.32. Corey Knebel, let's see, last year was 1.64. So, but let's look at their whip now, 111 to 129. So to be honest, looking at Corey Knebel and his whip, he would be a perfect closer, and that's what he wants to be. So I'm going to make the switch just to see how it goes, because like I said, I want to get out of innings, and Steve Geltz is really good at giving up, you know, ground balls, pop-ups. He's really good. He even has the player quirk, excels at limiting base hits. So we're going to make that change. Let's just get into this gameplay, man. And I really do sound sick. I feel stuffed up. But we're getting into this, man. Going up against the Yankees and the Blue Jays. So let's just get into this. Let's go. So Zach Davies is an interesting guy. He's actually in the 4 spot in our rotation. He's the staple of the Brewers rotation in real life. And you know, he's a funny pitcher because, I mean, there's some games where he's lights out for me and some games where he's not. And you see that we're going up against Jimmy Nelson, our former Brewer, and he actually went to the Yankees after the first offseason. After we didn't re-sign him, he went to the Yankees. He's actually doing pretty good for them. But anyway, back to Zach Davies. I mean, Zach Davies, he has a really good changeup, but, you know, besides that changeup, he just can't get it done.
There's a swing and a drive hit well out to right field. Gone to lead off the inning.
I had to interrupt that. Eric Thames with a PSA. That one's going to be his 7th of the season, and that gets out of here in a hurry. Eric Thames, actually, I moved him to the 4-hole because he's been killing the ball this year. And back to Zach Davies. Look, his changeup is really good, but he doesn't have a go-to pitch besides that changeup, and it hurts him because his fastball isn't that fast. And you know what's funny is that in real life, I mean, he has a pretty fast fastball, but in this game, he doesn't throw it that hard. So, but back to this game, Gary Sanchez comes up in the 4th with a hit down the right field line. We had the shift on for that one, so he hits it down the line. Franklin Gutierrez comes up throwing, and the last few games, I've actually changed the lineup up a little bit. So I have Keon Broxton in center. I wanted to give him a shot just to see what he's got. Put Brinson in left, Franklin Gutierrez in right, and Franklin Gutierrez right on cue hits a deep one off the backdrop in center. And Franklin Gutierrez has actually been on a tear as well. Travis Shaw, him, and Eric Thames, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in my lineup. They're hitting pretty well, and Eric Thames is coming up for his 2nd at-bat after just hitting a home run and crushes one to left. But that's going to not be deep enough, and, you know, that is the end to the Brewers offense in this game, to be honest with you. The Yankees come alive. Aaron Judge comes up, and they get 2 runners up, and Travis Shaw can't handle a grounder down the third base line, and they're going to come in to score here. And you know what? Zach Davies is going to give up some hits here, and I try to turn 2 on a bunt, and I almost do it, but Arcia spins the wrong way, and next thing you know, Jacoby Ellsbury hits a 3-run homer to left field. And I used to be a big Jacoby Ellsbury fan. My brother is actually a Red Sox fan, so I cheer for the Red Sox a little bit, a little more than the Yankees. My dad's from New York, and he grew up a Mets fan, so I kind of cheer for the Mets and the Red Sox a little bit just because I have some sort of allegiance to them. But Jacoby Ellsbury is so good. He's actually one of my favorite players in the MLB. He just does it all. He hits for power. He hits for average. He has pretty good speed. And here Zach Davies is giving more runs up. That's actually not even Zach Davies anymore. That's Blake Parker. And they're just pouring the runs in right now. They're now at a 6-2 lead. And some more offense in the 5th inning. They're going to get a hit down the line here. Franklin Gutierrez is going to awkwardly field that ball. We're going to hold the runners at 2nd and 3rd. But next thing you know, a pass ball. Jet Bandy allows a pass ball, and another runner is going to come to score. So the Yankees are actually going to go on and win this one 8-2. And next we are on to the Toronto Blue Jays to try to redeem ourselves versus the AL East. We only get 4 hits versus the Yankees, so we're going up against Ryan McRae, who's a pretty solid pitcher for the Blue Jays this season. He's 2-0 so far, but here in the 1st inning, he's giving up a big shot to Travis Shaw, and look at me trying to be greedy. trying to stretch a double into a triple. And next up, Franklin Gutierrez hits a no-doubter off the foul pole in left field. That pitch was right down the middle. There's no way I could have missed that. So instead of taking an early 2-0 lead, I take a 1-0 lead off of the Franklin Gutierrez no-doubter. And we have Lance Lynn on the mound going up against the Blue Jays. And, you know, I actually like pitching with Lance Lynn. Why? Because he's a no-nonsense pitcher. He doesn't walk too many guys. You know, his pitches are relatively easy to hit. He's not going to strike out a lot of guys, but he gives up a lot of ground balls, not a lot of huge base hits. But here he's getting in a little bit of trouble early in the game. So the Toronto Blue Jays tie it up and take the lead on the fielder's choice to RC at shortstop. So, you know, the story of these two games is that we're hitting the ball pretty well, but a lot of times we're just like, I don't know, we're making contact. We're not striking out a lot. We're swinging at good pitches, but we're just not getting a lot of base runners on. And this is kind of a theme that I'm going to look to address possibly in the trades. I mean, I never thought that Jorge Soler would hurt us so much, because when he got hurt, we did go on a streak, but it seems like, I don't know, there's some inconsistency in our lineup that we just cannot get it done. And it hurts our bullpen, because look at games like these, games like the Yankees games, we're just giving up hits and we don't really make late inning rallies, so we give up a lot of hits and runs late in games, in the middle of the game. So here the Blue Jays are taking that lead, and Hechavarria, you know, he was a guy I was looking at actually in the offseason, possible trade chip, but it just didn't work out, because he did get traded to the Blue Jays eventually. But he's having a heck of a game versus us. Eric Thames here is striking out on the drop third strike, beats it out to first, so we got a guy on first at least with the 4-1 game. But Keon Broxton grounds out almost into the double play. He beats it out, but eventually Jet Bandy hits a little dribbler back to the pitcher. So Jet Bandy is a guy that I'm torn on him, because he has his moments, but you know, it just seems like he just doesn't have that consistency. It doesn't seem like a lot of guys on our team have that consistency. But here Edwin Encarnacion is taking Taylor Youngman deep, and that one's going to be over the wall, over Brinson's glove. I thought I had a chance to rob that one, but it was deeper than I thought. And Thames is going to come up in the bottom of the ninth to end the game. This is a little alarming, because our offense has been not coming alive the last few games, and it's resulted in some tough losses. So we're going to be looking to address some holes on our team. Hit subscribe, hit that like button, and we'll be back for the next episode in the middle of the season.